It's actually a little bit heavier. So let's actually get in here before I even tell you what model we're working with. We have a bigger pouch, relatively speaking, to the Frack. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna get really interesting here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Bada bing, bada boom. Holy macaroni, guys. We got a wiping cloth, and then we have, drum roll please, cue the meme, the big one. We got the big one here, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Titanium Tundra. Yes, we are. The Titanium Tundra in the flesh. It is here. We're checking it out together. Holy macaroni, guys. We got a chance to check out the AR RPM 9 and G10 version, which is very affordable for an overbuilt knife like this one is. And this one here is for the people who want it. They want the overbuilt nature, but they want premium materials. And CJRB was like, okay, hold my beer. I got you. And they deliver, guys. So here we have titanium, beautiful bee-blasted titanium. We even have a pivot color in black. That's nice. Same milling going on as we saw on the budget version as well. Think of the Tundra as the drop point cousin to the Proponent, right? The Proponent was the OG overbuilt massive CJRB knife. And now we have the Tundra, and even have a premium version to the Tundra. We have a back flipper on this one, huge thumb studs. Pocket clip that it is reversible. Believe it or not, you can reverse this pocket clip even though it is a frame lock. So no company out there has an excuse not to do a reversible pocket clip on a frame lock. And if you're ready, I'm ready. We even have a lanyard here with this little pin. That's a little hint of something special we're going to be looking at in a second. And here we go. Flipper for the win. Bam. What a chunk of blade, ladies and gentlemen. We have a stonewash finish on S35 VN steel. Can we fit it all in frame? We will try. Holy smokes. That is looking absolute wild. Flat grind. And I mean, look at the jimping here on the blade. That is massive overbuild jimping. Kind of goes with the ethos of this knife, if you ask me. I mean, the thumb studs themselves are obnoxiously large. Let's go ahead and deploy here in multiple ways. There's your thumb stud deployment. I mean, when you deploy this thing, you know. Like, even look at the recoil on my hand. You know you are deploying, yeah, some beef. Reverse flick. I mean, surprisingly, I'm able to get enough real estate here to do a reverse flick with the fingernail. And the sound is crazy. Holy smokes. So, at least 3 different deployment options. You do have an insert for steel on steel contact right here. And I want to say the lockup is probably around close to 45, maybe 50% or so-ish. You have a little bit of access from the show side, right? It's a little bit shorter on this end. Allows you to push down and disengage. Right? Push down into the left. Easily disengage the knife. And check out the drop shot. I mean, the weight on the blade itself is just going to carry it down all the way shut. Love to see it. Holy smokes, this thing is a tank. Wow. Okay, CJRB, I see you're not messing around. I see you're not messing around. This thing is absolutely wild. We have 2 standoffs back here, and then we have the one little lanyard tube. This is basically your lanyard solution. Now, you can choose to either kind of go along with this or kind of keep the little pin, you know, a specific location, because what this pin is going to allow you to do is to add an additional lockup point. So we already have the frame lock. And then we can actually screw this pin here, I think from the show side, like this. And it's actually going to give us an additional lockup spot. So are we going fixed blade mode? Yes, we are. As close as we possibly can get to a fixed blade with a folding knife. There we go. Fully tightened all the way to the right. And now, even if I disengage the knife, there's a little bit of wiggle, but that blade is not going anywhere. If I let go of the frame lock, that is rock solid. We have 1 and also 2 points of contact, and you can probably chop with this thing for what it's worth. It is fully locked in place. And by definition, a fixed blade, obviously you got a full tank construction, yada yada yada. But with the folding knife, if you add additional points of lockup, additional points of contact to keep the blade right in that open position, you could get as close to a fixed blade as possible, and that's what you have here, right? Undoing it is very easy. Right, lefty loosey, very straightforward, and bada bing, bada boom. Right, you can go ahead and fold the knife as usual. So, I mean, for how big it is, for how big it is, and the fact that I don't have the, I don't think I have the worthy hands for this knife. I feel like, you know, someone with bigger hands will probably wield this a little bit better. But for what it's worth, man, it's actually pretty easy to open and close and use. And somebody's gonna be in the comments like, you know, I don't like that knife because it's too overbuilt for no reason. I don't get it. Why do companies do this and that? Listen, my guy, if that is you, maybe you're halfway through typing a comment. We all know who those we all know who those people are, right? Clearly, CJRB, they know how to make a great EDC knife. I mean, look at the Bolt, for example. Look at the Pyrite. I mean, look at so many models, the Hectare, Prado. I could go on and on for days, but they also like to have fun, right? They are knife enthusiasts at the end of the day, right? They want to build something special. The Tundra is absolutely something special, without a doubt. And it is certainly going to speak to people who like this kind of knife, right? It might be good for an overbuilt sort of application or just for a collection piece, right? Here's the Proponent, by the way. This is the other overbuilt cousin. They also made a premium version of this one, also with the premium materials as well. They're about the same size. And here's the budget Tundra I was talking about, right? Actually, D2 steel, I stand corrected, with G10 handles on this one. It is a liner lock on the budget counterpart, and you do have the ability. This one also comes with a pin you can screw on here. Still gives you the same sort of fixed blade lock-off position, additional point of contact. And yeah, these things are crazy. They are affordable if you're looking to pick them up at the affordable point, or they are a little bit more premium if you want to kind of spice things up and, you know, pick up the premium counterpart. The option, I mean, the ball's in your court. The option is yours. Whatever speaks to you the most, you're good to go. But yeah, the Tundra is absolutely wild. I can't believe this is a knife. I can't believe this exists, but it does. And man, what a day to be a knife enthusiast. Sign me up. Just a few other overbuilt knives right here. We got the Tenable Bombur. It's going to be a little bit smaller. That's a Midgard's Messer design. And here we have the Sheepdog XL. All right, take a look at that one there from Kizer. So yeah, every company has their pocket tank, pocket beef of some sort. Their beefy, tanky model of some sort. And I'm just going to give you some other options to compare for reference. I have overview videos on all these, so I'll have links to all of them down below in the description, pinned comments if you're interested.